Okay, today we'll create a new class. So this class is to merge different internal tables data into a final internal table. So in this class, we'll have purchase order functionality where we are going to select data from different purchase order related tables using different methods, and in a separate method we are going to merge all these different internal tables data into one final data, one final output data. Okay, so for this method, for this class, for example, this is the class. We may need method for get header data, and we need one method for get item data, and we need one method for get material data, and we need one method to prepare the output data. For this get header, what is the input? What is the header data for purchase order? What is the
EK.
mm,
EK.
Take up.
let's take some date as select option, date or material number or any company code as select option. Let us take date, created date.
Oh,
AED.
DAT.
Okay, so this is the uh, input for this method. Okay, what is the output for this method?
SOS hours.
Okay, if we get SY sub RC, what we are going to do with that? It's not every time SY sub RC we are going to return. It's not every time. It depends on the requirement.
Okay.
Here we need
Okay.
data, header data as output. For that,
Final.
Yes.
what is it? What is it say?
can select.
Final.
Final. What is final?
You can select the required fields.
EX underscore EK.
We have to define a table type with required fields from EKKO table. So what are the header data we are going to select as output? And we are going to define one structure with those fields. By using that structure, we are going to create a table type because we are going to return multiple records, multiple header records as output, because in this date range, we are using date range as input, right? Select option AEDAT. In that select option range, we might have multiple records. For that reason, we are going to use table type. If you take structure as a reference type, it will work. It can handle only single record. So we are going to create table type with the help of that structure name. Okay, and we are going to return those records as output. So what is the input for items?
EKP.
The input for this is
ERDAT.
the input for this is data which we are returning in header method. That is, the header data output is the input for get items, for item level data. Okay. So header level data is the input for item level data. So what are all the records we have? We are returning in header level data is the input for item level data. What is the input for material data?
Item level.
In item level data we have
Is it?
material number. So that is the input for
Material.
you know, tell me what is the item level table, purchase order item level table?
EK.
PO.
EK PO.
PO.
What is the
PO.
output here?
Table
Table
type
type.
of PKPO.
We have to create a structure with required fields from EKPO, and for that structure we have to create a table type because we're expecting multiple records from EKPO table, right?
Yes.
Or if you want all the fields from the EKPO, you can just check. You don't need to create any structure. You can just use EKPO as line type in the table type. Okay.
Oh.
Now, so what is the input for prepare output data?
All three.
All three fields data.
Data returning from get header data method, get item data method, and get material data method. So all three
Three inputs.
outputs,
Either
not inputs. All the three methods outputs are going to be input for prepare output data. Okay. So for this, what is the output? We're going to return
final.
combination of all these three,
Fields data.
all these three tables data. Combination of all these three tables data. We are going to merge into a single record. Okay. All these different tables fields we are going to merge into a single record. Okay. What is the output?
IT final. Table type with final.
Okay. So this is my input. Sorry, output. For the final output method, how many importing parameters we need?
Three.
What are those?
EKKO, EKPO, and MAKT.
What are the three inputs required for prepare output? Header data output,
Item
item
level.
data output, and material data output.
Serial data.
By using these three exporting parameters data, we are going to merge into single record and populate it to a final structure. Okay. So we can do it in two ways. One is creating data dictionary structures for each requirement and creating table type for each data dictionary structure, and we can do this. The alternative is we don't need to create DDIC structures, and we can handle it in the class itself using type structures. You know, right? We created programs using type structures and using DDIC structures both.
Yes.
When you are using DDIC structures, we don't need type structures because we are creating structures with the required fields. It is clear, right? What we are going to do?
Yes. Great.
Now, first create a program. See, in this example, we can also achieve this using a single method by joining these three tables CKKO, EKPO, and MAKT. Right? We can achieve this using a single join statement, right? We don't need to write
Yes.
a separate method, get header, get item, and get material. We can get all the data in a single method using a join statement. But why we are
Right.
using these three different methods? Even though we have a join statement and we can achieve this in a single method, why we are using these three different methods to get the header data, item data, material data separately?
Don't
Yeah.
accept duplicate one.
Hmm? What is it?
We are using table type.
No, no, no. Only because we want to learn how to pass the different importing parameters and exporting parameters. That is the only reason. There is no other reason. Okay. Otherwise, we can handle this in a single method using a join statement. Right? If you are using a join, what you need to create? A final structure with required fields and a table type for that final structure, and use that final structure reference in prepare output method and write a join. All your data is going to be copied into that final output method, right?
Okay.
Right?
It's like same as we created in function matrix. So all three we have
It is one
done
method
it.
is, yeah, one method is enough, and with
Okay.
one structure is enough. Final structure is enough if you are using join. But why I am creating three different methods? Just to practice,
By the
just to
practice you have
practice
filtered.
how to pass importing parameters and how to pass exporting parameters of different methods like that. Okay, just for your
Okay.
understanding. Otherwise, for this requirement, only one method is enough. Okay.
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 Okay, let's create a program. Okay, sorry. So first, what is the input for our program? Create a date, right?
AEDAT.
For that, create a select option. So the type is this. So what are the fields of a select option structure?
Visualization, that selection screen, start of selection. Yeah. Now,
Option structure, sign high low.
Select option fields. I'm asking what are the structures of, what is the structure of select option structure?
Sign
Okay.
option high low.
What is sign? What are the values for sign? Allowed values for
It
sign.
is include or exclude.
Okay. So now we have created a select option. Now I'm not going to write any. I'm just writing one validation here. Just want to make sure that at least there is some value in the select option. That is, date is initial. And I'm going to return a message.
enter
Enter
valid
proper date.
properties are valid.
Some message. Okay. For this you have to use text symbol, and for message type you have to use constant. So now we have to select the data, right, based on the inputs. Now I'm not going to write any select statement here. Where I'm going to write select statements or business
Classes
logic?
method.
In class methods.
Cons-
So first let's select what are the required fields from header data. So we have three methods, right? First method is to get the header data, and the different method is to get the item data, and the third method is to get the material data. So let's select the fields which are required from header data.
EBL and brokers. Life,
EBL and
EBLM,
brokers.
Bookers, ERDAT.
Okay.
life, life.
From these fields, we'll choose some fields, some required fields. This is not required. This is include structure. I'll keep the vendor. Okay. So I'll take these fields from header data. Also, I'll select records from item data, EKPO, not the records fields. What are the required fields to be selected? I need material number and plant storage location. So I need this data from my item level table and an ID MAKT from text table I need material and material text. Okay, for this we have these three are the importing parameter structures, right? Sorry, not importing parameter structures, but this is the data which we return from each method. This is the header data output, this is the item data output, and this is text material text method data output. So what is the input for item data? This one, this data,
DRDAT.
header data, this header data internal table structure, right? This is the input for item data. So this is the input for material text. This data is input for material text data. All these three we are going to combine into one final output. Okay,
Okay.
we're going to merge all these three tables data and we are going to merge into output like this. EBLP will place here. Material number also place it at the end. Material text. Matner is already there. I'm just ordering the fields. So this is my final output. Okay.
Okay.
What is the input for final output method? Header data, item data, and material text data. Right. So what is the output for final output method? This is the output structure. Okay. Clear? Now let's create a class for this. Okay. Create class. Provide the class description. Okay. So what is the first method we need?
Get
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 header
header
data.
data. Instance method. The visibility is public.
Public. EKKO table.
select that data.
Select header data.
Okay. So we define the method. We have to define the parameters also. What do you mean by parameters?
Importing parameter.
Importing and
Importing,
exporting.
exporting parameters to pass the input to the method and to return the output. So click on parameters. Now tell me, what is our input structure? What is our input? What is our input for get header data?
IMAE DAT.
AAD.
AEDAT. Is it a select option or just parameter?
Just parameter. Input parameter.
Select, select, select.
So is it a select option or parameter?
Select
Select
option.
option.
It is select option, right? If it is a parameter, we can just pass like this: im underscore date. Type is importing. Associate type is some AEDAT. We can pass just like this. Straight away we can pass like this, and we can pass the parameter date to this, but it is a select option. We cannot pass select options like this. What is the difference between select option and parameter?
Select option can pass us two inputs and the selection screen, multiple inputs.
Okay.
Parameter can pass on single input at the selection screen.
And define the inputs.
Yeah, it is range of inputs. Select option can accept range of inputs or multiple inputs. Okay, that's why you cannot directly define parameters for the select options like this. What you have to do, first go to types, define one local type structure. We are going to create a type structure. Okay. Uh, GT underscore date public. Click on here. You can see here, right? Just
Yes.
define one type structure here. Types begin of GT underscore date. What are the fields of select option?
Yes.
AEDAT.
Select option. I'm talking about select option structure fields. What are the fields of select option structure?
Sign.
Sign. What is the length? What is the length of sign field? I or E, right? Include or exclude?
Yes,
One. Length 1. You don't need to define, but type
Type.
C.
type C.
So what is the next
Option.
field?
Option
Option.
2.
2, because it is EQ or BT, right?
Yes. No.
Low. What is the
Low.
type of low?
Range.
Low.
15 or
What we
20.
pass in low? What we pass in low?
Number.
In the
Date.
in our current example, it is date, right? So that
Yes.
you have to
T.
take this type, same data element. What are you using for your select option? If it is a material number select option, you have to use Matner. If it is a
Okay.
company code select option, you have to use Bookers.
Book.
High. What is the
Type.
high type?
Also,
Same.
Append.
End of append. Y
End of GT
underscore
date.
date. Okay. So tell me, in select option, when you pass multiple single records, how many records you can find it in a select option table?
2.
If you pass 10 individual records, 10 individual ranges, multiple ranges, when you pass multiple ranges, you can see, if you pass 10 multiple ranges, you can see 10 records in the select option internal table. So is it working as internal table or work area? Is it a work area like
Internal
structure
table.
or internal table like structure?
Internal table.
Because it can hold multiple records when you are passing multiple ranges. So for that you have to define one table type. How to
table type.
how to define table type? You know how to create a table type in SC11. Go to SC11, select the table type and provide the line type and create the table type. That's how you
Yes.
create in SC11 navigation. But how can you create here? Use
Date.
types.
Type structure.
Uh,
Begin of.
we'll take like this GT. I'll take ZTY for this, just for naming convention. You don't need ZT underscore T underscore date, just to make sure, just to date type Standard table of this one, zty underscore date. Now what I have created here?
Internal type.
Internal
Table
table.
type. Okay, table type for this structure. Table type for this structure. Now use this table type in your importing parameter declaration. Also, you can do this by creating this table type in data dictionary level. Okay, SC11.
Okay.
But we are not creating in SC11. We are handling it in the class itself. Okay, go back.
Okay.
Now observe here. So if you use this, in types, it will work as work area. If you use gty underscore date type structure reference, if you use this table type reference,
Not
it will act as internal table. Go to methods, method parameters, im underscore date. What is the type of im underscore date? gt underscore t
AID.
underscore date. Whatever the type structure we created here, table type we created. If you take this type structure, right, it can accept only single record, like work area like structure. If you use this table type, it will act as internal table like structure. Is it clear?
Yeah.
okay.
You can also use zty underscore date. This will also work, but it can accept only single record. Okay.
Oh.
So now we define the input for this method. What is the output for this method? What is the output for this
Exporting.
method? Exporting
EX.
parameter with these fields, the structure with these fields, right?
Yes.
Is it a single record or multiple record? Are we returning? Are we going
Multiple.
to return multiple, right? I'll do it
Yes.
like this, just to make sure, like ex underscore t underscore. I'll use this
Header.
name. Okay. Exporting parameter. What is the type? Type we have to define. We have to create a data dictionary structure
Table
table
type.
type, or we can also handle in types. Create
That's it.
create a local type structure. Go to here. Create a local type structure, that is zty underscore header. It is public. Click on here. Not here. Define one more type structure for header data. I'm using just chain operator. Begin. What is the name? This one. You can
ETY.
remove here. Remove it from here. What are the required fields? Okay. End of
ETY.
zty underscore header. Now, if you are returning only single record, if you are returning only work area like structure, then this is enough. Type structure is enough. Gty underscore header. We can define our exporting parameter with reference to gty underscore type structure. But we are returning multiple records, right? For the date range, for the given date range. That's why
Yes.
Yes.
we need to create a table type. zt underscore t underscore header